Thank you, everybody, for coming into again watching our show. We'd like to thank everybody who's been following us, and thank you for continuing to listen and give your feedback on everything that's been going on. We thank you, everybody. So this is so far. I'm still liking the name Sports Fiasco Podcast. It might work, might not go. We're just keeping that for now. For now, against Test Run. So again, all the merchandise. Well, everybody will be in the description like last time. So please support. So I'm wearing the gray parachute shirt right here. Has a great slogan on the background. So you got to get it to find out what that says. So
Oh, you
again,
really bought one?
merchandise.
Wow, you really bought one.
Yeah, it's right here, bro.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I got it. I haven't even worn mine yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to wear it. I'm gonna wear it on my first day of my new job.
So everybody support the podcast. Support the podcast. Supports the links at the bottom for the merchandise that we have going on. Um, so we're going to get to it. This week was the end of the NBA Finals. The Lakers were able to defeat the Heat in six. So I want to talk about the game. What did you see? Well, you know what? Since we missed it, do you mind we talk about Game Five and Game Six?
Say it again?
Do you mind we talk Game Five and Game Six?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right. So what was bugged out is that because Game Six happened because of what happened on Game Five, Miami threw everything they had at them in Game Five, and pretty much killed themselves for that victory. Because I think, man, it looked like Jimmy Butler had to get pulled and carried out after that performance he had. So
It's
it
not.
was
It's not sustainable. I mean, he did almost a triple double twice, right? But
yeah.
I mean, could he have done it for one more game?
But
Maybe.
the minutes, they really couldn't trust nobody else having this time.
Yeah, that's what did him in. He was burnt out.
Oh,
Like
game six, he was washed. He couldn't hit free throws, and that was been his bread and butter.
now, here's the funny thing. Everybody's talking about like, yo, Jimmy Butler's a superstar. He deserves that contract. Like, yo, he's good. He is absolutely good. He only made 17 points per game. Like his averages were low. I've never seen a max contract who produces less numbers, but it's purely a morale boost. Like he is totally just about like, yo, I will my team to win, but I don't get the numbers. I don't understand it. Like, I mean, you just look at max contract players like, yo, they're getting 30 points a game, 28, 27 points a game. My man's doing 17 and willed his team to game six of the NBA Finals. Like,
Well, mind you, that's a career average. So you remember his first 2 years in the NBA, he wasn't really even a scorer. So it was until Derrick Rose had that crazy injury and they had to put the team on his back that he started getting his 20s. And I think this year he averaged 20 on the dot. So All Star, he's been multiple All Stars, but
all star, not max superstar. He's 19.9. 19.9 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Cool, 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 cool. He ain't 35 something $1 million, but
well,
I mean, good for him.
this
He's
the
22 in the playoffs, 22, 7 and 6 in the playoffs. So,
mhm.
yeah, he's good. I don't know, but like, that good.
Yeah, well, what he did these finals just showed. I think his investment was worth it. Could you imagine if Philly would have kept him? Because
No, I mean, I don't think Philly would have. No, maybe,
yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
they would have had the missing pieces that the Heat needed for the for the game last night. So what I saw in that game was that I felt game six is that one because Miami did everything they could to win that game five, which they honestly should have lost if Danny Green just stepped in 2 feet and decided to go for a two instead of for three. Was that they were done. The Heat was so done. So the Lakers just bully footed them and just ran them over.
Oh
And
yeah.
the Heat's loyalty. I think loyalty has cost two teams more wins. I think loyalty cost Denver a win, more wins because I felt they were too loyal to Paul Millsap, and I would have just went with Michael Porter Jr. and Bol Bol
Oh
for the height advantage
yeah,
to
but
keep up with.
they never been there.
Yeah,
They
but
gonna make
that
a little rookie mistakes.
yeah, and Miami also went loyalty to Goran Dragic. I felt Goran Dragic should not have played at all.
So who should they put in?
They should
Chris
have kept none.
Kendrick
They,
Nunn.
they kept
Man,
Kendrick Nunn, who's had two really good games in these finals, and I felt he had a good game five. They should have kept Kendrick Nunn in. I felt they should have ran with Olenek and Myers Leonard. I know everybody's like, but those guys was shooting from the outside. They were keeping Davis from chasing that 3-point line, which allowed Butler to go in. So once that happened, And I'm not sure if Spoelstra just said just go out, just get some finals minutes and go out. But at that point, I was like, yo, just throw everybody out there at them. Because I said everybody, I would have thrown Chris Silva, everybody on the Heat's roster should have gotten some burn just to keep Jimmy Butler and all those guys breathing. Because it felt crazy. Like Duncan Robinson was really even forcing shots more. Tyler Hero couldn't hit nothing. Those guys were all done. The Lakers were just pretty much given Game Six because they just washed them out. They just
Mm.
washed them out. So I say these finals, people complain about it, but I said you got three really bad games and three amazing games. Games 4, 5, and games 4, 5. I mean, 3, 4, and 5 were amazing games, and games 1, 2, and 6 was for the birds. So that was my spill. I was happy with the finals. I was actually, mostly I know I'm a Heat fan, so all I know is that Miami was a good team, and yeah, they overdid what many thought they should do, but with lineups and matchups, anything is possible. So the Lakers, they did what they were supposed to do. Everybody said if the Lakers made it to the finals, they were going to win. So there shouldn't be no expectation. Nobody should be upset at that. So let me ask you, a lot of people, some people of mine were talking about this, LeBron saying at the end that, I deserve I want my respect too. How did you feel about that?
I didn't really like it. Didn't care. It kind of. Oh man. See now. All right. I don't mind talking about sports freely as we talk, right? Where it's just talking about sports. But now,
Mm,
also, I'm looking at. I don't look at myself as we talk, so I'm like, I gotta start dressing better. I gotta start like actually looking as if I care about my body and my dressing, grooming. Anyway, LeBron's a great player, all of that. But like when he starts saying I deserve my respect too, it almost feels forced, as if someone's in his ear saying that you gotta constantly being he needs to be reaffirmed that
mm,
he's one of the best players of all time instead of just actively believing it and knowing it and proving it. It's like a weird sense of lack of confidence and almost humility when he said I deserve my respect too. I was like, bro, you're the great one of the greatest living basketball players of all time and you're still alive and around. Why do you need that respect? I mean, I guess he's an example of a millennial, right? Whereas like that whole like uncomfortableness and be comfortable with being uncomfortable and saying what you really feel, and
mm.
that insecurity is a part of life. And it's like, bro, you're a billionaire, you're rich. I mean,
Almost there.
you're
Yeah.
billion. I mean, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire, but he's a billionaire. Everything's good other than the fact that your son's a weed head. Everything's good in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, why need to say that? I find that I don't know. I found that to be foolish, to be honest.
What I did was I looked back at the NBA finals and I thought about one. Well, his finals right now, people are going to say he won it only because it was in the bubble and he played one of the weakest finals teams. Um, I thought about last year. People were saying Kawhi only won that because the Golden State Warriors got hurt. The years before that, Kevin Durant won his two MVPs, and people were saying, "Oh, you only won those because he was playing with Golden State." LeBron won his because Kyrie saved him, and then Iggy didn't deserve his because he was a six man, and the Warriors were, I mean, the Cavs were hurt. So if you look at it, really, it's been a while since we had a finals MVP that was respected, like that was just unquestioned. Oh yeah, they had a great performance. Please, people were saying that Davis should have deserved an MVP, some MVP consideration on this. So I think that everything. I understand why LeBron said it because I really feel I started thinking about like who was the last finals MVP that got respected? Dirk, maybe Kawhi with the Spurs, I guess. But like MVPs, especially somebody of his caliber, when LeBron does something good, the first thing they do is you get the Skip Baylesses, you get the others who want to talk him down. He does anything good, the first thing they do is talk him down. I was shocked that like in Game 5 when he passed the ball up to Danny Green, people were mad at him for not taking the shot. I was like, don't you want your open man to shoot the ball? I would think the best shot in the NBA is an open shot.
Yeah,
But
I don't understand
then
that.
everybody's complaining. Oh, the first thing. Oh, Jordan would have shot it. No, not really. Jordan would have passed to. Jordan has passed to. There's a couple of.
Jordan, see to your point, Jordan will take the shot if you know it's a shot that he can make. Jordan doesn't say I can make everything, but Jordan will take shots that he know he can make. He's practiced making it. He's good at making it. He has a high percentage. So that's like Jordan. Like if Jordan's getting if he's going for the lane and he's getting bodied and he's getting doubled, then that means someone's open. So you give it to the 3 point shooter who's a good
Mm,
shot.
you
So
give your
whenever,
Leclerc's, BJ's,
yeah. So like when you get the,
John Paxson's, they all have game winners with Jordan.
it's like when they say, "Who do you want to have the last shot?" Like in like I would always see posts about who you want the last shot. It would be Kobe, Michael, Kevin Durant, Steve Kerr. No, Kobe, Michael, Kevin Durant,
Melo.
Steph Curry. Nah,
Oh, Steph Curry. Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm probably picking Kevin Durant or Steph Curry because they're automatic from everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it's like, why
Mhm.
would I? I mean, yeah, Jordan's great and all, but Jordan's not the best shooter until he got older. Kobe may be the most fundamental who will probably make it from anywhere. He could do outside, inside.
Yeah.
Kobe could shoot anything. But
Mm.
then if I'm really gonna pick somebody, I might go Kevin Durant because he could do whatever he wants to. But
And
like
he's
I'm not.
unblockable.
Yeah, because he's 7 foot. Like so, like LeBron's great and all, but I'm not trusting LeBron. Like if all I got is a 3 point shot, am I giving that to LeBron? No. So if he's getting drived in and everybody say, "Oh, nobody's gonna stop you, get fouled," it's like there's no guarantee you're gonna make both free throws.
Mm,
And but people want to say, "Oh man, could Jordan make it?" Maybe, maybe not. I mean, he's missed a lot.
mm.
He's made a lot, but that's the
Yeah.
whole point. It's just foolish sometimes, but
Yeah.
I get it.
I
I'm
get it.
past
And
it
I
now.
think because as soon as LeBron does something, the first conversation that comes up is Jordan. I think that's why he's screaming he needs his respect because I don't think his career is getting based on his own personal, accomplishments himself. Everything he does has to get compared to Mike. So nothing he does, it seems like, well, it was LeBron. And I don't think before, obviously I think obviously Kobe was the first person to get that comparisons. Before it wasn't nobody comparing, Larry Bird, I guess Larry and Magic, maybe, but no, nobody in the '90s would compare to Larry or Magic. Nobody said, "Oh, you got to do this to get compared to, to be as great as Magic Johnson, or you got to be this to be as great as
Well,
Larry Bird."
well, this is on him,
Hmm.
and so sometimes I wonder about him. Like some players are great just by being great, but he came in with fanfare. You know what I mean? With the white suit, and he was documented since high school
School,
and
yeah,
the greatest one of all time. So like he came in with this expectation. The only person who has this much expectation on him right now is like Zion, and like, but he's not the same sort of level. He's not a ball handler. He's really just a big guy who could dunk.
yeah.
That's it. And so, but
He's a
LeBron
tight
is,
end. He's a tight end that plays for plays
but
basketball.
but LeBron was touted to be the messiah of football. I mean, basketball of
Basketball.
sorts. So he's living up to he's clearly living up to the expectations set upon him by the basketball media. Clearly living up to it. But then there are people who just say, "Oh, well, you're not as good as what I want." And I just watched the movie the other night, bro. Me and Jasmine watched Enola Holmes on Netflix. It was low key good,
Okay.
and I have a reason why I'm saying this. And so, there was a I don't spoilers. So there was a whole thing about the reform bill, which was a very important thing that happened in England back in the day. Basically, it
Mm,
shifted the power of how things were to a little bit how we see things now, where people who had a certain amount of livelihood, a certain amount of living,
mm.
can make votes in terms of how the government
Work.
function.
Mm,
Fantastic, right? And that was like the underlying theme of the movie. And so essentially, there was this rich kid who who he was like the last vote of whether or not this reform bill was going to pass. Now, the kid was going to get killed. Someone was trying to kill a kid. We didn't know who, but it was happening. Lo and behold, it was actually his grandmother who was trying to get this guy killed. Now, I say all of that to say
mm,
there are some people who do not want change or do not accepting of change or the new guard or people coming and doing things. And then
mm,
there are other people who are all for it. And most of these people who are like, yo, LeBron, love be Jordan, nitpicking everything they do. One, they have to because this is their job. Skip Bayless' job is to be contrite, and I appreciate
yeah.
that. But at the same time, too, there are some people who's like, I can never accept that somebody is better than my Lord and personal Savior, Michael Jordan or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like like there's no the word goat has been thrown around. It's foolish. The word goat is a stupid concept. Like the greatest of all time, greatest of all time. That word, the idea of goat really has. I feel like it's only been around like the past 15 years. But it's just like
I mean, it's been out since
it's been
the
a
actual.
while.
No, since the guy who and most people don't even know who the goat came from. The name
That
the goat.
Blue Jay.
No, Earl the Goat Manigault. the street ball legend.
Sure. All right. Anyway,
In the from the 70s. Obviously,
but
his name was Man of Goat, so then that's the name came from
but
him.
the concept of go to
Yeah,
start coming out more and more, and this is like, why do we have to do that? And I hate it. I hate the idea of it. Like I foolishly like, oh, like, Jordan is the best player of all time. I just fell into that, like, because I was in that era. I mean, he's good. But like LeBron is good too. I mean, LeBron, Kobe. I mean, I'm going
KD.
off. KD is a monster within himself. Steph Curry is probably one of the greatest shooters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got Jordan. Well, I mean, I got some other players. Probably like my favorite players ever. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I love me some Vince Carter. I love me some, like, what's his name? Oh my god, I just
Tracy
bought his shirt. I just bought his shirt. Oh man,
Tracy
he was on
McGrady.
the nah, screw him. Oh my god, I just bought a shirt when he dunked on alter listen. It was like this.
Oh, Sean Kemp.
Just bought a Sean Kemp shirt because I bought to match some sneakers I bought.
Mm.
Um, yeah, man, like nah. So whatever, but he's he put that on himself and he's living up to it. Like living up to that sort of hype is wild.
I
Like
think that's one of the big things about this generation is the you got to talk it to existence. You got to say it like when people when Ti said I'm the king of the South. That's when yeah, everybody said I'm the king of the South. When
I remember he
little
said that. That
mm,
was, bruh, maybe the king of Atlanta at that time.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that people said when his beef with Lil Flip happened because he said that Lil Flip was like, "No, Scarface is the king of the South. How can you say that?" And then Scarface was like, "I
He's
don't
like,
want to say that." Scarface was like, "I don't want it." So when Ti said, "I'm the king of the South," next up came Lil Wayne, "I'm the greatest rapper alive." Then you have a whole bunch of people, "Yeah, he is the greatest rapper alive." So this I gotta speak it into existence thing happens. So when LeBron says, this I have to say it to have it happen. I understand that lane. And LeBron, LeBron is what? I think he's 36 or 35. He's not a young dude. Like he's not like, 25, 26 coming into the league. He's of age. So, he should be, he shouldn't have to worry about that in my book, but I understand I don't think I've seen a sports athlete get so much vitriol as him for what he does. I can't think of but with nothing based off outside, because obviously Mayweather gets all the back talkers of other things, but um, you can't say anything. All his vitriol is basically he doesn't do it like Jordan. So to me, I had no problem with it, but as always, it's LeBron, so it's going to get ripped apart. It's going to get dissected. So I wanted to talk about another thing I saw is that people are saying that Anthony Davis, he's moved up the power forward all time list because he now has a finals championship. So they were saying I heard people say some crazy things. He's already passed Tim Duncan, he's passed Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, because he got a ring already. So I mean Duncan obviously has his rings, but look, to me, what's scary is that Davis still has so much more game in him and so many more years. So as of right now, he's going to be a great, and I think the Lakers are going to give him the keys because obviously LeBron does as much. But I think LeBron wants to hand him the keys over too. But if he stays in LA, which could not happen because I believe he has a player option this year, so he could leave. He could leave, and they threw it out on what does he think about Chicago? But him winning the ring, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't push his career above another player yet. I really want to see what more he's accomplished. I know skill wise, he clearly has a skill set that Barkley doesn't have, or Malone has. Like he has a guards game. He has a guards game. He can shoot from
it,
three with ease.
he's only played 8 years. Like if he plays another like 7 years, if he puts in a 15-year career, which I really don't see players doing nowadays. I don't know why I don't see players lasting more than like 12 years now
You
because
think
no
it's going?
one's because everyone's retiring. Like LeBron is like it. Like LeBron's like the not the oldest, but he's one of the most longest tenure players other than like um
Melo. Um, let's see.
you know
Goran
has
Dragic is up there.
Goran
Yeah,
Dragic.
and look at UD. But didn't even step on the court. I don't think this entire playoffs.
So I'm saying like so
Yeah.
like players that so like now we're in the like it's like aside of LeBron, we're starting to see who's going to be the next guys up and like AD once they hit that 8 year like the oh my god Chris Paul is getting up there.
Oh yeah. Um,
Chris Paul is almost maybe like 14. Wait, ooh, Chris Paul came in
Matter of
06.
fact, no. Remember, Chris Paul and LeBron went to high school the same year. they were in the
Bro, so
McDonald's
did
All Star
I.
game.
Yeah, me and LeBron we grad me and LeBron graduated high school the same year.
So
Yeah,
they
no,
all graduated all three. So
Chris Paul has been in the year. He got graduated in 2015. Wait a minute. Chris Paul came into the league in 2005. He's
yeah,
been in the league almost 15 years now. Wow.
he's up there.
Okay.
So
Jesus, 15. Wow.
it's been that long. So him, I believe JJ Redick is up there too, and Goran Dragic. I know he's up there. I don't think he's been in the league as long. No, wait a minute. Goran Dragic has been in the league since around that time too, like 05, 06. 'Cause I remember when he was with the Suns, and they had Steve Nash at the time.
I mean, yeah. I
So
mean, all right. So Chris Paul is getting there. So all right. So
yeah,
we're
they
starting
might.
to see. So Chris Paul, LeBron, these guys are starting to be the old
They're
guard.
old guard. Yeah.
So like these new guys. So like it's official. Like KD and KD's been in the league about 10 years too.
Hmm.
Kevin Durant, Stephen, they've been about. So, but anyway, I still don't see Chris Paul's 15 years. I don't see these guys lasting 20 years. So our viewpoint of greatest of all times or greatest on Mount Rushmore's for us is going to be guys who were only in the league for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, like I mean, like James Harden, how long can he really last? Because Russell Westbrook, how long will he really last? I mean,
Russell Westbrook has lasted longer than I thought because of the way he plays. I thought, he
he's
plays like
slowing down though. He's slowing down.
you still give him a lane. He's still going in with that crazy dunk of his, with that
Yeah, because
hand
everybody's
dunk.
afraid of it, but he's slowing the heck down. Like I see it.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's amazing now. To think about it. Man, how
Yeah.
long has he been in the league? He's been in the league 12 years now.
Hmm.
Jeez.
No, so to me, you have some. It's going to be strange because what happens is, I think because until we have a cure for COVID, the NBA is going to slow up. I don't think we're going to get. I honestly don't think we're going to get as many games next season. I think we might get half season because obviously the regular NBA would be starting in about 3 weeks from now. The normal NBA season would start. It'll be preseason. So, obviously they're not going, and I don't think another bubble is going to happen. I do not think that's going to happen. So you might not get as many games next year. And if that has to be the case, I think that might save a couple more players years. But I will say this, the upcoming talent of young players now is coming out so much faster. So more players, more teams are going to start moving people in and out. So I think that's going to happen. But Davis, I think he's in a serious discussion for power forwards because there's so many great power forwards. But skill wise, yeah, if anybody wants to talk about skill, there's no way you can say Carmelo was better. There's no way you can say Barkley was better. There's so many players skill wise they can't do what AD does. So AD's up there. I think when the end of his career, he's going to have. I do expect more titles from him if he stays with the right team. If he does want to do like Chicago or do some no name team with just try to come up, then yeah, he's just gonna put a whole bunch of crazy numbers and have a title in his name. But he's definitely already made his whole Hall of Fame some resume set. So I gotta give it to him. So I wanted to get to the next point. So then move this a little. Um, there was a list that came out, and the Heat are listed as six so far. I saw on this list to come out of the East next season. They're even behind the Sixers. The Sixers are still listed as higher than them. So, do you think now the East is? Do you still see Miami as a threat for next season?
Oh yeah, they were a threat all year. I mean, I don't. There's no reason why they can't repeat. They can probably sign somebody if they really want to.
They
There's
have
no.
the money. They have no big names. Their biggest name was Jimmy Butler.
I mean,
They,
who's a 2020 free agent? Um,
I think,
2020 NBA. Yeah.
isn't
So
is it Giannis, right?
Giannis ain't. I mean, he might. But all right. So technically, the most free. Like, listen. Let's look at. I mean, if we look at
Melo,
the list right now. No, nah,
he could
Melo
fit.
ain't
He'll
going there.
fit
He could fit anywhere, but
because I think if Melo was there for Joe Crowder, I think he'll get. I mean, Crowder wasn't. I mean, Jay Crowder. I
listen,
think
listen.
Melo
Look,
could
look,
play.
look at it.
Okay.
Here's a free agent list, right? Top 10. Anthony Davis. He ain't going anywhere. Brandon Ingram. That's his team with Zion. He ain't going anywhere. DeMar DeRozan is basically Jimmy Butler, just not.
As defensive.
Yeah, so nah. And he can't shoot threes. Fred Van Vliet, they don't need another point guard. Montrezl Harrell, they don't need another power forward. Although, I mean, that might not be a bad pickup but they got Bam, so they should be straight. Gordon Hayward could do something with him. Could do something with him. You got Bog,
But
Bogdan Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
He might be a good pickup actually. Goran is a repeat. Davis Bertans. They don't need another white power forward who can shoot. And then you got Danilo Gallinari. Again, don't need
I,
another one, but
I
that wouldn't be
like
a bad
I
pickup. That
like
wouldn't be a bad
that one.
pickup.
I think that would be their best pick, Danilo
Yeah,
Gallinari.
because
He can still he
he
got rebounds and he's not
he
to
can
me he has
handle the
more
ball.
bulk and he can handle he has more bulk. Which and honestly his game and people going to tell me for this. Kelly Olynyk is not too far apart, but I think that
Kelly Olynyk could not handle the ball.
no,
Danilo
he's
could
ran the ball.
handle the
He
ball.
runs the ball up. He's not as
No,
good.
I'm talking about like really
No,
run the ball
Danilo
up
is
and
better.
down.
I mean, Danilo is way better. Is better. Is an improved game. To me, he fits their mold because then if you put Danilo on the team that they currently have, you put Crowder on the bench because I don't think Crowder should have started. He was just there because they needed somebody. He's 6'7", so you get De Niro who's 6'10". He fits that offensive scheme. I think they could use him. He could go in and out. He grabs boards. He's not afraid to get it, to rumble in the paint. So I think of all those guys you listed, I think Danilo is the best Heat pick, the best person for the Heat to go. And I don't think they have to lose much. Like all these other players that people talk about, they should get CP3. They'll have to trade. Bovan is just tall and big. So and I think Dallas might actually keep him. Um, a lot of these other players, they think Gordon Hayward to me just fits the mode of what Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, what the Heat already have. So I don't think there's enough basketball. There's enough shots in there for Hayward in there. So obviously, I think most people agree that it'll be a shock if Davis leaves LA. I think he's enjoying it and they believe in him. And
Bro, they filming for Space Jam 2.
yeah,
He ain't going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. He's gonna get his another year. I mean, like, listen, I'm all for if you ready to leave, you jump ship. Like I switch jobs, like I switch sneakers. Like I get it, but you ride it out as long as it's mutually beneficial, so you can get that payday
yeah.
eventually. So he's not even he's not. I don't even think he's max contract. He's max contract, but he's not.
No, he's still off his
He be
Pelicans
better. Yo,
contract.
look, he be better than Carl Malone, Charles Barkley. Um, if he stayed in the league another like what 12 years, right? If he hits 15 years and he keeps his numbers up, because he's like consistent 20 something, 20 something, 20 something, like 10 and 5, like he's solid. And if he got like maybe two more rings, he'd be on par with. I mean, if we want to talk about power forwards, bro, who's out there? Like, okay, Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone. Name other power forwards, and I'm not talking those obscure. I swear to God, if you tell me like Wes Unseld or whatever, like that don't count. Like I'm like, who's legit in the forefront of everybody's minds, like greatest power forward. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not
Let's
that
see.
many. I named them: Karl Malone, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Tim Duncan. Oh my God, Karl Malone, Tim Duncan, Charles Barkley. That is a underrepresented group. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
Like,
see. Let me start thinking.
go ahead, go ahead.
Because we fall a lot into the '90s. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead. Go give me
I'm
something from the
trying to.
'90s. Who you gonna give me from the '90s? Horace
Kemp,
Bryant? Who?
Sean Kemp.
Yeah, he's good. He's not top like. I mean, I can't. You can't even give me
You,
10, but I
you
wouldn't
want?
even put
Okay,
him in the top 10.
okay. I can make an argument for some, but this is kind of
Go ahead.
okay. Dennis Rodman,
Okay,
rebounding legend.
fine. Okay, that's
Okay.
five. That's five. So
Do
Dennis
you
Rodman,
consider?
look, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Dennis Rodman. Okay,
Okay, but now I can start. But the thing is that the 2000s era, I think, was the power forward era. So
go ahead.
KG, this
Kevin
guy,
Garnett. Kevin
Chris
Garnett. Okay.
Webber, Chris
No
Webber.
ring. No ring. Okay.
But we all saw
Just
that
keep going.
rapper.
Just keep going.
Rashi Wallace,
Nope. I'm not
really?
giving you that.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Dirk.
Yes.
Oh wait, we already said Duncan. Um, ooh, this kind of start getting
It
dry.
is. Yep. It gets really dry. Somebody almost said Lamarcus Aldridge. I smacked him. I swear to God, I smacked him.
It does start getting dry. Uh,
This is an
Chris,
underappreciated group. Who? Who's you about to say?
Chris.
Chris what?
He might make the Hall of Fame. He
Who?
might.
Chris who? Chris who?
Bosh.
He didn't have enough time. He didn't play long enough.
Mhm.
His health did it too, and he was on trash teams.
Let's see. Jermaine O'Neal.
No. My wife had a crush on him when we were younger too, which is weird. No,
uh, I mean, he was
right?
robbed. He was a mouse in the palace away from the finals. Uh, let's see.
Yeah. So look, you don't have to do all of that. I'm just saying how
Ben Wallace.
no, he's good, but no, he's not
He's
a.
more of a center. I think more people consider him more of a center.
Anyway, so look, that's what I'm saying. So like, there's no reason that Anthony Davis can't be one of the best power forwards of all time if he keeps this up. So I'm
Hmm.
just saying. I mean, it's kind of clear, like because I'm like, you can't even name a power forward from the '70s. You can't really, you could barely name a power forward from the '80s. Um, other than like, and Moses Malone was a center. Like, you can't really.
Kevin McHale.
Yes, he
Kevin
definitely belongs up
McHale.
there.
Kevin McHale. I'm trying to think
Absolutely
of.
belongs up there.
I'm trying to think for the Lakers. Who was that powerful? Nah, it was AC Green. So nah, AC Green and Sam Perkins. Nah. Um.
Who? Well, I'll tell you this offline about Sam Perkins about some very interesting information I found out. He's
Okay.
from our area, which is
Okay.
really
I'm trying to think of because there was so many. There were good ones, but you know what? Like I think of Tom Chambers, but nobody really talks about Tom Chambers. Yeah, he used to yam on people for death, but yeah, nobody talks about Tom Chambers or you know.
just going to the next topic. I'm telling you, there's no reason why you can't get it. And everyone that we listed should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Chris Webber.
Chris
I mean,
Webber, I mentioned
Chris Webber was good, but I think
he was actually very good.
he was. But I think, what do you remember him for? His fantastic play, his passing, his dunking, or do you remember him being a problem because of the Fat Five and the drama that he added with that? So Chris Webber's a trick. He's a gimme. If you need a top 10, you throw him in there. But like,
And then you got and like I said, you have a whole bunch of good players who just didn't do more that we expect. Like Zach Randolph. I think he was an amazing power forward.
one of my
You know,
favorites of all time.
he used to give Blake Griffin is a great power forward. And Zach Randolph should give him the fits. You
Yeah, I
know,
love me. Zach Randolph in college. They used to call me Zach Randolph, and I was like, I'll take it. 20 and 10 all every
so
game.
he's a beast in the inside all day. So
Whatever. As long as I score, I don't need to jump. I can just score on there anybody. I don't care. That's when I was at. And it's funny. That's when I was actually at my quickest in college. So I still was getting called that. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
So last question on the NBA. Do you think we get a serious NBA season next year? I think we
Yeah.
talked about it. I think we
There's no
get.
reason
I
why.
think. I
I
say we
think. I
get
think.
40 games.
I think it's going to be more bubbleized. I think it's going to be really centralized into what it will look like because there's no reason why this can't be emulated in different areas. Like maybe like your conference, right? Like you will meet in one centralized area versus like everybody's in one place because it's a full season. So that's going to be a little bit impossible. But I do think that they can have it centralized and like because like if you look at everybody who's in the South, like the Heat, all of them, the Heat, Orlando, they could just
Orlando, the Hawks. Yeah.
yeah, like and you really force it to be like there's not going to be much interconference play like that, like and then so then the finals are going to be very interesting because these people didn't play each other at
Yeah,
all.
and I heard
So
next year, and I heard people biggest complaint I heard so many players complain about that they didn't have fans, that they needed the real of the fans. To me, I thought it was tougher basketball playing without the fans because you could really say true on this is our central court. We balling. You got to play with your heart out right now. You got to outdo me right now. And there's no refs stealing your way. The refs are afraid to make the call because the fans are going to chase them out the court. So to me, this was it to me. I liked it, but I don't think the NBA is going to be right. I don't think we're going to get an 82 game season. 82 games, finals, all that stuff, I think is dead. I think it's dead. At max,
for
we'll
how
get 40
long?
games
Why are you so finalized? Like it seems
because
like forever.
because I don't because one the NBA is supposed to start in November and it's not. We're not going to get the Christmas game. We're not. I don't think that's going to happen. We're not going to get the big game that we're supposed to have, and it's gonna push. They're gonna have to push this. I say if NFL is smart, I mean the NBA is smart. They make sure this happens definitely after football season, and try to finish before football starts again. So if they can run it between February, I think that will give enough teams enough time. February, middle February or early March to end of August, we could have a serious run of games and playoffs and run it within that system. So, and then that'll give everybody a chance to not complain about, oh, I was watching football. Nobody's watching baseball. I don't care what you're saying. Nobody's watching NHL. So, whatever. So, You know, I think if the NBA does that, I think we can have a respectable season. So
Mm,
let's hope for the best. I'll tell you that, but I don't see another full season next year. So, uh, all right. So we're gonna move on to NFL talk. So I think the game of the night, the hottest game that I saw yesterday was the Seattle the Seahawks and Vikings game that came down all the way down to the end where Russell Wilson Russell Wilson was getting sacked left and right throughout that game, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how they got it done, but they got it done. That crazy touchdown pass. First of all, no, first before that, that 4th and 10 that he made,
mm-hmm.
and then the touchdown pass at the end sealed the victory. But to me, what cost the Vikings this win was they in this situation. To me, I don't think going for a field goal would have been a bad idea. Them not going for the field goal when they went for it on 4th and 1. I think it was the 11 or something. It was somewhere close. So them not going for it on that 4th and 1 cost them dear. I mean, them going for it on that 4th and 1. To me, they had the lead. They're going to kick the field goal, been up 8, and then you force Russell Wilson to go for it on 2. So,
Mm.
and we saw how it ended. They missed the 2-point conversion anyway. So, you know, I think that would have been a good point. But Russell Wilson the MVP talk just went up the roof with him. Went up the roof with him again because he pulled that
Mm.
off, and that was him. That was him, and I forgot the running back's name. Um, the running back, number 32 for the Seahawks. Um, not Sean.
Shoot,
I know it's not Sean Alexander anymore, but I can.
27. Chris
Yeah,
Carson's or Rashad Penny.
yeah,
I gotta look it up now because I'm not
yeah.
entirely sure.
I think Carson's, but yeah,
Chris
that was
Carson.
really yeah. So that was a good game from them. I was really disappointed in what Minnesota did because they had the game. They had it all in their hands, and I don't know about. I hope I didn't know if anything on Dalvin Cook's injury was serious or not, but the backup that he had was out there doing work too. So I got
Yeah.
to give it for, but I got to give it to Seattle and Russell Wilson. Man, he showed out. He showed it. He came in and showed out. Made sure people knew this MVP. This season is his. It's his. It's Seattle's for the taking.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. No, I agree.
Mm,
I'm just being. Yeah, it's his. If he wants it, like
mm,
not even want. Like he got to not mess up. But they're not going to the Super Bowl probably. But yeah, it's his.
mm. Yeah. So want to get you on that. What did you think? Uh, Now, typically I've been saying I wasn't going to talk too much Giants, but that was actually a good game. And the Giants Cowboys game, I was actually looking forward to seeing this game because I knew it was going to be a high scoring game because both those teams' defenses stink. So if anybody who has either one of their defenses on your fantasy team, you're not smart. So I expect a high scoring game. When I saw, first of all, I was gonna say the first half, I thought was a great first half. When the Cowboys got that last touchdown before the first half, I was like, oh, really, really good game. Third quarter, and then I saw that Dak foot injury. I think he's done.
Like for
He's done.
what? Like done forever?
Yeah, come
What is
on.
with
What?
you? What? Is it because you're
It was
playing a
the dude. It's the
quarterback?
game. It's the
No, no,
game
no.
of football. I don't see you coming back. You're never going to be the same from that type of. His foot wet the whole. If you did not cringe when you saw that,
Well, I didn't watch it because I don't like watching that stuff. But no, but specifically though, like, bro, you can't be
you
that far.
can.
No,
He's
like,
not. He's not going to be able to do what he does unless he doesn't have that dead. If he tries to come back to the NFL with a restructured foot like that, he's going to be more formidable for defenses to sack. So I think that he's going, and I don't think he's going to give up on his career. Yeah, but I don't think he's ever going to be Dak Prescott ever again. He's not going to be the same quarterback. He's going to be done. If he unless he gets used to only throwing in 3 steps without falling or feeling uncomfortable, because once your foot goes like that, come on, man. I mean, we saw. I guess Shaw Livingston came back in the NBA from a serious injury like that. With but and he's able to jump. But football quarterback, you need speed. You need mobile agility, and I don't see that happening from him.
I don't know, man. You basically giving saying he should die. Like it's like
Your football career, his football career should.
I think he can still rock if he want to run. I really do. I think I didn't watch it because I don't like seeing an injury game. The likelihood of you seeing an injury is like very very high, and I'm not morbid. That's like it's like I'm a guy who hates roller coasters because it's like, why do you want
Hmm.
to experience that? Anyway, um, he can come back. Yo, if Alex Smith, I know it took but his injury was just as bad as is not as bad as Alex Smith,
Yeah. No,
but
I
if
thought Smith was. I thought no, I thought Dax was worse than Smith.
oh man, it wasn't as bad. And then Smith was like it was broke. It was the same sort of things: compound fracture, pressure dislocation. To your point, bro, have you ever had a dislocated anything?
No,
All right,
pulled. I have a lot of pulled. You
so
know,
I've had
pulled.
dislocated, so it's like it's out and dangling. You still can
Yeah.
move it, but his was dislocated and then it fractured. So as someone who had a whole hip replacement, I just have a whole different understanding of ball and socket joints. So like dislocated and pulled.
Mm,
So it's out of the joint and hanging. So it looks really, really bad. The problem is the socket is fractured. They ain't say crack, fracture. So we don't know how
yeah.
serious that was. It just looks weird because you once you dislocate something, it just looks crazy because it's out of the joint and it's in the muscle. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not that crazy. But the thing is, like with the other guy, his junk broke and his thing broke. But like it
Yeah.
was just as bad as Gordon Hayward. And Gordon Hayward took a whole year
Yeah.
off basically, and now he's finally starting to play, and now he's feeling comfortable to jump. So to your right, you gotta. It's like with me, like me playing basketball now. Like I gotta feel not insecure with my body. Like I get it when athletes have injuries and then they get timid. Like
Mm,
he's got to be able to take that injury and not feel timid about what he needs to do. So I think he says 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months to feel normal, and then another 6 months to what you know what I'm saying to actually play.
mm,
Right, and he'll skip all the preseason. He'll be fine. His injury is less serious than Tua. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Tua basically had Tua had the same thing. The same thing. All right. Tua had the same issue, like dislocation, fracture.
Mm. For
Like in
everybody, it means like the type of the injury result, not the actual injury. Because two, I
yeah,
think it's to the hip.
so it's the same sort of function in terms of
Yeah.
a dislocation and a fracture in the socket. But my man's hip, that happened to his hip. They ain't no hip brace you could wear
Yeah.
for that. That's less that could be a little dangerous. All my man got to do is like wear a crazy super solid brace on his
Mm,
knee ankle, and he could be straight. So I'm
mm,
like, hey, he be fine. But he ain't getting his money next year. Tell you that.
yeah.
It's
Oh
he,
yeah.
ain't no way in the world they're gonna pay him
Dallas is
next year.
not. Yeah, Dallas just. There's no way Dallas is going to honor
It's
that
a wrap.
contract.
It's a
Yeah.
wrap. I mean, he just happy to get his 30 million this year, maybe. Although the injuries, they might give him something. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, they still pay him for the year, but then just
And
rather
I tell you this, people. I tell you all the time. NFL teams ain't loyal like that.
no,
They're not.
no.
So. All right. The big surprise was the Raiders defeating the Chiefs. And you, as a Raiders fan, I know you were happy about that. So
Didn't care. Did not care.
I'll
And
tell
I
you this.
was
I'll
go
tell
ahead.
you this. Yeah, I have some people saying that, oh, New England gave him the transcript on how to defeat and slow down the Chiefs. To me, the Chiefs were not really slow. I'll tell you this. There was a big play that happened in that game that got called back. The Tariq Hill touchdown. There was like a 60-yard bomb he threw to Tariq Hill in the second quarter. They called it back. That changes the whole game. Kansas City scores up more points. Can't you know? Oakland has to do more plays that they didn't have to do. I was impressed by the second half by David Carr. He came out and held it down the second half. He held it down, and I was shocked by Kansas City's defense. They really got ripped to shreds. They
Bro,
got ripped to shreds.
can I share my screen? So let me tell you what happened
Yeah.
yesterday. So
Mm.
I was no, no, not don't share my screen yet. So I was
Okay.
sitting at home.
Mhm.
I was sitting at home. I could share it, whatever.
Yeah.
I was sitting. I was actually shooting around. I was just shooting around, whatever,
Mhm.
not playing basketball, shooting around. And me and the same brother who's a Chiefs fan, and he's
Mhm.
making these comments. I
Yeah.
comment back, whatever. I'm
Mhm.
like, bro, I don't care. I'm not expecting my team to win. No, like, good for y'all. And then like we're going back and forth, and I was like, and I'm getting notifications on my phone like,
Mhm.
oh, it's 24-24. I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
they keeping up. Cool, that's cute. That's what's up. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And then next thing I know, I see 32-40. And please let me share my screen real quick.
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
show you. This was my exact face. You gotta undisable it,
Hold
man.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Cause
Go ahead. Go ahead.
all right, so I was like I said, chilling, whatever. I see 40-32. This was my exact face. This guy, like exactly. That's like What? Really? And so I was like, get out of here. What? And I was like, wow, okay, cool, cool, cool. I still have realistic expectations. I didn't expect that. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Guess I should feel happy.
Yeah,
Carr
I
threw for
thought,
300 touchdowns, 300 yards, a couple
yeah.
touchdowns. I was like, wow, we might be decent, you know. But what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I do not expect my C student to get a college scholarship to Harvard. You do not. I don't expect that. Like, nah, they're gonna mess up. They're gonna mess up. But I'm happy.
I was happy, but I expect the teams to beat the teams that I expect to beat the Raiders were going to be in their division teams. Those are
Hmm.
the teams because the Chargers had them on the run. And what was that, week 2? So Oakland was definitely could have been a win, and I think Denver was going to give them the problem to when they face them too. But everybody else in the division is a cakewalk for them. But I think in their own conference, I mean in their own conference, they're going to have problems with them. So happy for Oakland. Uh, Let's see. I want to give shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers for going undefeated. They're quiet as kept being the second best team in the NFL, and I don't think nobody's even realizing that Pittsburgh has been killing teams, all been killing it. But and typically, we like to end off with the surprise good game that y'all probably didn't talk about or see was the Panthers versus Falcons, and it was so good that the Falcons fired everything. They fired everybody. They fired their head coach, GM. Everybody got canned from this game.
And they promote the reason they're losing their defense
The defensive.
to their interim head coach. Like, I don't know if that's yo. Listen, it's gonna sound
I
bad
think.
coming
I
from
think.
somebody in HR. That's a diversity hire. Like, yo, you go like it's the black Raheem. What is his name? Raheem Morris. Like, I get
Yeah,
it, but like, bro, they're losing because of their defense. Why you gonna make him the head coach?
and in all honesty, Raheem Moore. I still question him being a defensive coordinator. I mean, he rose through the ranks. I get it, but I was kind of shocked he got the job as quickly as he did.
I'm like, I knew
But
I'm looking at him. I know that dude look familiar.
mm,
I don't know why I
I
did.
remember him in the NFL. So,
I
so
sure as heck don't. What was he? What team was he on?
oh goodness. I actually didn't he even play for the Falcons? I remember seeing him in the NFL. I can't remember all the teams. I know it wasn't for one. It was more for
Is the
one.
Raiders or the Buccaneers? All right, either way,
Yeah,
probably the Bucks.
Bucks.
And he's from Newark.
Go.
All right, that's where. Okay, I'm like, I've
He
seen
from
him
the hood.
around.
Mhm.
No,
So
we don't know what part though. Yeah.
he from Forest Hills. Nah,
All yeah, all Newark isn't created equal.
yeah.
Let's be fair.
Shout out to the Iron Bound section. We don't consider them.
No, not at all. Like,
But
that's not real.
I gotta give it to Teddy Bridgewater for hanging in there in this game. Um, Todd Gurley started doing all right, but again, to me, I think I gotta see what the Falcons will do with with obviously who's going to be their new offensive coordinator to run this team now. So we'll see what they could do, but I think the Falcons, like I said, I think they got to just go with Trevor Lawrence. Just go for it. Call it in. Just
Who?
call
The
it in.
Falcons?
Yeah.
Why, bro? All they need is their defense to be done.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't need all of that. No, they don't need all of that. They don't.
Mhm.
Nah, they don't need all of that. They just need to fix their defense. Matt Ryan is serviceable. Um, I don't know, man. You're kind of throwing them. You're
I,
throwing them
s-
under
I
the.
say they're done. I say they're done. To me, the NFC, the AFC South is not worth them. Is not winnable in their chance. I don't think they have a chance of doing that. So
You're being cold, but all right.
you calling me cold?
I'm
So
saying like, what
I'm
is
on a
he?
realistic
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
expectation. I don't see it. I don't see them doing anything. I say they call it a quit. Call it quits. Call it quits.
You're just, bro. You're a bugging.
I don't see it happening for them unless they make a. If all right, we'll give them by week 11. See if they're 5-5 by then. If we have a week 11 in the NFL, so we'll call it like that. So we'll call it a show now. All right, everybody. So again, please support us. All the links for our merchandise will be in the description. Thank you for following us. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you to everybody who's been contacting us on the show and enjoying it. So We thank you. So keep supporting us and keep following us. We'll be next week. We're going to talk more NFL because now we know NBA was strictly it's going to be a lot more NFL, and we'll see what else we can find that was happening in sports. So everybody enjoy. Thank you for everybody who's watching. Again, our social our social medias will be in the description, and so all merchandise. So everybody have a good one and take care.